Hi everyone, welcome to the Treble Clef Project. My name is Ananya Iyengar, and I'm your Director of Vocal Music. Today we'll be discussing ways that we can keep our voices healthy and prevent damage. As vocalists, our voices are pretty much our instruments, so we want to make sure that we're keeping our singing in a way that's sustainable for the future. Just like you would take care of a guitar, for example, by not keeping it out in the sun for too long and then ruining its wood, we want to make sure that we're following certain tips and tricks that'll keep our voice healthy. So let's get started. My first tip to keeping your voice healthy is to make sure that you know your vocal range. So your vocal range is basically the highest and the lowest note that you can sing comfortably without straining your voice. Vocal ranges are incredibly unique to each person, and they can even change depending on life events that happen, that put your body through a certain type of stress or change your body in a certain way. So once you know your vocal range, you can actually utilize that to choose songs that are more catered to your own forte and to your own range. If you sing a song or a note that's too high or too low, you can actually risk feeling a slight strain in your throat or even soreness. And that's your body's way of telling you that what you did was probably not something that you should have done and it's actually damaging your body. So in order to prevent vocal damage and prevent your voice from feeling that strain, I would recommend choosing songs that are in your forte, and you can do that by finding out your vocal range. We have a video on that on our channel, so I'd make sure to check that out before you get started on this. My second tip is to warm up before you sing. There are a lot of different warm-ups available, and they can even differ depending on what type of voice that you're using for a specific piece, such as your chest voice, mixed voice, or head voice. But it's a great way to get your voice used to what you're going to be singing for the next few minutes. It's like an introduction to your throat to make sure that it knows what's going to happen. Is how I like to think about it. So there are many different types of warm-ups like I mentioned, but some of my favorites are octave stretches, which is basically when you go from one octave to another and you kind of slide between them. This can help smoothen the transition between your passages, which is a great way to kind of lessen the impact when you switch between your registers. The second one that I really like is ones that ease your jaw tension. So these can help with diction and making sure that you're not putting extra stress on your jaw, which can actually damage your voice in the long run. And then my third favorite, which is probably my most favorite, are riff-based warm-ups. So riff-based warm-ups are basically ones that go through notes really fast, and I like these because I like to riff a lot when I sing, but it also helps me get used to faster note changes, and even sometimes it prevents voice cracks, which can sometimes happen when you're changing between notes. So all three of these are beneficial, and there are a lot more available, but these are just to help you get your voice a little acclimated to whatever you're singing for the next minute, because singing is a little different than your talking voice, so you want to make sure that you're getting that used to how it's going to be sung. Another tip I learned was that if you do your warm-ups in the shower, they can actually help you get your voice a little more acclimated to singing. This is basically because the water vapor in the shower keeps your throat really hydrated and kind of soothes it in a way. So that's another tip if you want to take it one step further. My final tip is with how you take care of your voice when you're not actively singing. So one of the biggest misconceptions is that you should be drinking hot water before you start singing. This is completely false because drinking extreme temperatured waters can actually hurt your voice. So if you drink really cold water, it actually shrinks your vocal cords, and then if you drink hot water, it inflames them. So you don't want either of these because one of them kind of adds a lot of mucus to your throat and the other one strips it away. And if either of those happen, it actually becomes harder for you to sing. So what you ideally want to do is drink warm or room temperatured water because this is the least extreme. So not only does it hydrate your voice, but it also makes sure that you're not getting extreme effects like no mucus or a lot of mucus. So that's what you probably want to go with. So all in all, I think that as long as you listen to your body and what it's telling you, you should probably be able to keep your voice from being damaged. And this is in the sense that if your body is telling you that you're feeling pain, then that probably means that it's telling you to stop doing whatever you're doing. So for example, if you feel like your throat is too dry or it's too hydrated, that probably means you need to focus on your water intake. If you feel a slight pain or a strain while you're singing, that probably means that you're overexerting your vocal cords. And actually, a fun fact is that our voices require a lot less work to produce sound than we think they do. So when you sing higher notes, your vocal cords typically move in a way that have a lot less surface area, meaning you need a lot less work to get them to move against each other, which is how we produce sound. So maybe if you're thinking that you need a certain amount of energy to reach a note, you probably need 20% less than that. But all in all, like as long as you're listening to your body and you're not doing something that hurts it, you should probably be able to keep from damaging your voice. And then if you want to take it an extra step higher and keep your voice healthy, then you can follow certain tips and tricks that I mentioned in the video. So I hope you learned something from today's video, and I'm so glad that you watched it. I'll see you next time. Bye!